Have you ever really thought about how you make an ordinary person holy? I mean, really holy. In the ancient world, it wasn't just about what you believed. It was this intense, physical, and super detailed process. Today, we are diving deep into the blueprint for exactly that, straight from Exodus chapter 29, the wild ceremony for consecrating a priest.
So, this is the big question, right? It's what this whole chapter is trying to answer. How do you actually bridge that gap between the everyday and the sacred? Between just a regular person and someone set apart for God? Well, Exodus 29 gives a startlingly specific step-by-step guide.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the blueprint itself, then walk through the physical prep and the sacrifices. After that, we'll get into the most intense part, the anointing with blood. And finally, we'll see how this whole thing sets up a promise meant to last forever.
Okay, so the first thing you've got to understand is that this isn't just a list of helpful suggestions. Nope. This is laid out as a direct command from God, a super precise, unchangeable blueprint for setting up the priesthood for the very first time with Aaron and his sons. The text itself is incredibly direct. It basically kicks off by saying, "This is what you shall do to them to make them holy." It's not poetic or flowery. It's more like a technical manual for holiness. Seriously. Now, what's really interesting is that the process doesn't start with a big, dramatic sacrifice. It begins with preparation. Before the candidates can even get near the altar in their new job, they have to be cleaned up and dressed for the part. And the order of these steps is absolutely crucial. See how it moves from the outside in? First up, there's a physical cleansing with water, symbolically washing away their ordinary lives. Then comes the visual change, putting on these special holy garments. And only then, the spiritual anointing, where the sacred oil is poured over the high priest's head, marking him as chosen. You know, the text lists a bunch of special clothes, but there's one that really stands out: the ephod. This thing was this incredibly ornate, kind of like a sacred apron, worn over all the other robes. It wasn't just fancy clothing, it was the key symbol of the high priest's unique role. All right, so once the priests are prepared, the ceremony moves to its absolute core. A series of 3 different animal sacrifices, and each one has a very specific job to do. Each of these 3 sacrifices plays a totally different role. First, you've got a young bull. That's the sin offering, for atonement. Then there's a ram that becomes a burnt offering. It gets completely consumed by fire, symbolizing total, unconditional devotion. And finally, a second ram is used for the ordination itself, the act that really seals the deal and makes them priests. And get this, there's an even deeper layer of symbolism here. When they put the bull's blood on the horns of the altar, it wasn't just about the priest's sins. It was about purifying the secret space itself, getting the very meeting place between God and humanity ready. This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most powerful and, let's be honest, visceral part of the entire ceremony. The blood from that second ram, the ram of consecration, isn't just splashed on the altar, it's put directly on the priests themselves. The symbolism here is just so specific, it's incredible. Blood is touched to their right ear, dedicating everything they hear to God. It's touched to their right thumb, dedicating all their actions, all their work. And it's even touched to their right big toe, dedicating the very path they walk through life. It's a complete head-to-toe consecration of their entire being. You see, this act just transforms the whole thing. It's not just a ritual they're watching anymore. It's something that is physically marking them. They are being set apart, literally claimed for a sacred duty in a way that's meant to be permanent and deep. But here's the thing. This super elaborate 7-day ceremony isn't just a one-and-done deal. The whole point is to establish something that will last for all generations to come. A priesthood that never ends and a constant point of contact with God. This entire consecration process has to be repeated every single day for 7 days straight. But after that week is over, a totally new, permanent practice kicks in. A continual offering is set up, one that's supposed to happen every single day, forever. And hey, this isn't just us guessing. The text lays it out plain as day. Verse 38 commands it. Now, this is what you shall offer on the altar: 2 lambs a year old, day by day, regularly. 2 lambs, one in the morning and one in the evening, every single day. This daily sacrifice was meant to be a constant reminder of the covenant, a perpetual act of devotion that kept the relationship between God and the people of Israel active. And this is the ultimate payoff. Why do all this? Why go through this incredibly elaborate system of priests and sacrifices? Well, the text gives us the answer right here. The whole purpose is so that God can dwell among the people. The entire structure, from the washing to the blood to the daily lambs, is designed to make that communion possible.
Ultimately, this ritual in Exodus 29 is about something profound. It's not just about making a couple of guys holy. It's about the immense intentional effort it takes to build a lasting bridge between our world and the divine. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? What does it really take to create a space for the sacred in our own lives? And what does that kind of commitment truly demand from us?